What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Whoops. Hope everybody's having a good day. Dr. Derbs with the first. Nice. Skydive. Hey, y'all. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. Hope you guys did as well. What's up, Rick? Chazmandu 4th. Just got back from the beach. Awesome. Oh, yeah. I have your shirts right here. Chazmandu. Ready for you. Jonathan Johnson says, good evening, everyone. Hey, how's it going? The pimped out platypus, what's up? These fools have their hands full, abandoning Afghanistan, trying to put the U.S. back in house arrest for the COF. All of that, and they're still trying to destroy the average investor's best chance at building wealth. Talk about overachievers. It's amazing how many things the government can try to muck up at once. Yeah, I will say, and I'm sure we have a lot of people piling in here that are looking for a live stream of the event, which we will get to, but it is not quite live yet, as you can see. So I am waiting for this recess to end, and we will be here to watch that and cover that live. It shouldn't be, I think, 10 minutes max, because yesterday when we were on their website, it says next roll call votes are expected this evening after 6:30. So I'm expecting it to start at around 6:30, and so that's why I went ahead and went live now. So we should be here for it. They didn't give us an exact time, but it's looking like 10 minutes. So we'll wait it out. Let's see. But yeah, I mean it's not going to be great if they pass the bill as is, that's for sure. But I think even if they do, there will be an amendment, and that's probably why we're not seeing crypto sell off quite as hard as I thought it would. Looks like a lot of people are just confident that everything's going to be all right, which is good. And that's good as, you know, as an investor in cryptocurrency, that everyone, especially people with a lot of money heavily invested into crypto along with you, also thinks that everything's going to be all right. But we did see a massive sell-off already from the highs that we were at, 50.5K, all the way down to 49 flat, and now we're getting the bounce off 49. This does not mean necessarily that our uptrend's going to continue right here. We're going to make a new high. It's just a expected bounce at a strong level of support. So it's an obvious place to dip by as long as it stops and doesn't keep falling right at 49K. And then you just kind of sit in it, wait, see what happens, and then you play accordingly. But that's what we've got here. Nice rejection wick, and we'll see how it plays out. What's up, Matt? Matt's Market. You didn't miss anything. We just got it started. Now, guys, I will say, especially when this goes live, I will not be able to read every comment. Just it won't be very reasonable, I'm sure. I don't want to keep talking over the speakers. You already know if you want to prioritize your comment in situations like that, of course, you can super chat it or just kind of wait and hope, and I will probably get around to your comment. Same thing as what happened with the Doge developer conference and all that good stuff. But I hope everyone is having a good Monday and a good start to their week. Got to kind of take yesterday off from streaming and just relax a little bit. Actually, I didn't really, but I got some other stuff done. But we are back in it now. We did have a nice bull run over this weekend. And I mean, we've been having a bull run now since basically July the 19th, July the 20th. Ever since we got that spark from the Amazon rumor, we never really stopped. I mean, we had one big pullback to 37 after we hit about 44. We had a pullback to 37, one more retest, kind of did a double bottom there. And then ever since, I mean, we took off like a rocket. Now, if you've been following the stream, you know I was genuinely confused because this was, you know, the Amazon thing hasn't even been talked about again. It was just a rumor. But like I've been saying, guys, the move up, though I thought it would be off a more substantial catalyst, a rumor is kind of ridiculous. We had been down here for 2 months already. It had gone over 2 months, and people are just tired of sitting here seeing bounces just keep happening off of 28,000 support. It's like, all right, well, if this is the bottom, let's just buy it up if we're not going to keep falling. And things kept happening to where we'd get to these points where we were about to crash, and then little announcements would come and bump us back up. And I think we just kind of had enough of being flushed out. We already know that Bitcoin was not worth 29,000 per coin. It was really a good discount. And once we got this kind of bit of an inverse little head and shoulders type move, we rocketed right on out and never came back. So even though it happened in a very unconventional way, cryptocurrency is very unconventional. It's very unpredictable and it's very volatile. So, you know, we try and do our best here on these daily streams to figure out what's going to happen next. Sometimes we'll be right, sometimes we'll be wrong. That is what it is. But as long as we can make money, that's the end goal. So we'll just keep sticking to that plan because most of us here are in the green. So that means we're doing something right. Looking at where we are right now, I mean, if you look at yesterday, we had a pretty crazy run up to 50,500 on Bitcoin. And really, if you just check social sentiment, one of the easiest ways to do that is go on Twitter and carefully navigate the Webull comment section and just see like what people are saying. A lot of times you can hear the price targets that everybody has in mind. That's really the only reason I look, is like if we're in an uptrend, like what does everyone think it's going to hit before you start seeing even the bullish people saying that it's going to dump. So the price target I heard people saying was 50K. Like if we can just reach 50K, 50K is the target. 50K, guys, we can do 50K tonight. That's what everybody was saying. And then I heard some people even say like 51. So most people, once we got up to 50, because what ended up happening was yesterday we had a run up in the price to, what was it? What was the first run up? To here, which was about 49.9. And still, the people in the comment section were just like, push. You know, we were back at 48, and they're like, man, we could still hit 50K tonight. So they didn't get the number. They didn't get what they wanted. They wanted to see 50,000. All right, so that hunger was still there, that greed. So I was thinking, all right, we're probably going to see them do one last hurrah. We did end up seeing the push to 50. Rejected, of course, as people took profit. But it held up. And, you know, then this is kind of where the FOMO came in, where people saw the sell-off and then kind of the retest and the holding. And they're like, ooh, we're holding at the 200 EMA and we're above 50,000. Maybe I should go ahead and place an entry. But the thing was, we didn't break into any new ground at that same time. So after testing it a bunch of times and not making any new ground here, we ended up breaking below the 200 EMA and then also below 50,000. And that started the downtrend. So that's where we are now. So now we're in a downtrend from 50,000, coming down, bounced down to 49. Question is, what's going to happen next? So right now what we've got is this hearing. Let's make sure it didn't start yet. We don't want to get left in the dust. All right, they did not end the recess quite yet, but we're going to keep an eye on it. If they're keeping to their kind of plan, I'm expecting sometime, you know, starting within, 5 minutes or maybe a little after. If they wait really long, we might have to pause the stream and just come back later. Obviously, I don't want to sit here for like 10 hours, but I wouldn't think it would be too long. But we're really needing to wait on this bill, this infrastructure bill that has the cryptocurrency regulations tied into it, and figure out what in the world is going to happen today. Are they going to go ahead and like start voting towards passing it? And then we're going to have the Senate have passed it, and then the House has passed it, and then what? So are we going to get some positive discussion in there where they don't really consider the amendment yet? Because the problem with that is, long term, yes, we know, unless the government, like I said in the Discord group earlier, unless the US has absolutely lost their mind, we know eventually they're going to amend that bill because the wording is just technically incorrect. And I don't think they intended to really screw over the entire US crypto workings. They were just trying to regulate it, get their hands in it, and get some tax money out of it, which they made clear they did want tax money from it. And I think they determined they'd raise about, what was it, 29 or 39 billion dollars from the new taxes. So they want a piece of the pie, but I don't think they meant to kill it. But the wording was obviously done from someone that didn't really know what they were talking about and didn't realize the implications of what they were saying. And so it seems like a mistake. So I do think long term, yes, there will be an amendment if it gets passed as is, and cryptocurrency will continue to succeed. But you have to look short term, in my opinion, if you're trying to if you're not just an investor and you're a trader, especially if you're a short to midterm trader. That means like day trading or like swing trading week over week. Like if this gets passed as is today, what's going to happen to the price now? And I think if it gets passed as is today, it's just going to spook some people out because you don't actually know what the government's thinking. So you just have to take what's given to you. So I think it'll spook some people out. We'll see a dump of some sort. Now, a dump from here doesn't mean we're going down to 29,000, but we are up at the highest we've been in 3 months, guys. We're at the peak. We just peaked out at 50,000. Right now we're at 49,500. We are at the top still. So any reason to pull back could give us a really steep pullback. Now, where do I think that pullback could stop? Easiest way to look at those potential price areas is to look at your 200 EMAs on different time frames and see where the average price is that people have agreed upon based off previous trading activity, where those lines fall. And obviously the higher time frames give you a more conservative price that would probably make more sense for this. Oh, don't forget, guys, hit that like button if you haven't. We're only at 11. We've got 40 people. So if you're enjoying it and appreciate the live stream coverage, please consider clicking that button. Thank you. But let's look at these 200 EMAs and see what the pullback could result in. So on the 1 minute, it's not going to tell us too much. It's saying 49,450, not too important. Here, same thing, 49.5. 3 minutes, same. All right, but as we start to get up, we'll start to see a better 200 EMA, probably around 30 minute and above. All right, so now we see 48.6.5. Thank you. We're at 12.15. Thank you, guys. I know sometimes you forget, so that was just the friendly reminder. Thank you. I appreciate it. 16. All right, and so, 48.6 is a conservative pullback on the 30 minute. I think zooming out a little more makes a little more sense. All right, so now the 1 hour we can see on the 200 EMA, that would be at about 47.7. That's sounding more like it. I think the 2 or like 4 hour is probably going to make the most sense. Here it says on the 2 hour, 46. The 4 hour, the Weeble freezing for suspense. All right, according to the 4 hour time frame, the average price on a larger average price time frame is going to be about 43,500. In my opinion, off bad news today, that area makes the most sense. Somewhere around like in between the 2 and the 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback pretty quickly down to 46, maybe even like 45, some kind of slowing down and a continuation down to the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. I would not be surprised to see us go back down to 43, maybe even down to 42.5 again, where the main support was. Now, it really at that point depends on how bad people take it. You could see us trending back under temporarily, or you could just see us bounce and do one of these things. We'll have to wait and find out. But that's if they pass the bill as is. We could get a dump of anywhere, I'd say, up to about 10K. I don't think it's going to go down to 29 today. But obviously, if people freak out, because we know it was whales that got us up here in the first place. So if the whales decide to short and take their profit, this was my concern last week. If their plan was to bump the price up, get all the retails helping, and bump the price up to the highest point possible before today came, and then, knowing that if there was not great news, they would all kind of take profit, we could see a full-on dump. But I don't think anyone's predicting that, and that would really shake people up. I'm not going to be overly bearish today. I really don't think we're going to get a whole lot of bad news today, guys, to be honest. I'm expecting...
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20,
okay, the House is now in order, guys. So let's pause the music.
Gentlewoman from Michigan, Ms. Dingle, to suspend the rules.
All right, let's get to it.
325. On which the yeas and nays.
This is what we're here for.
And the clerk will report the title.
Senate 325, an act to amend the Alice Spotted Bear and Walter Soboleff Commission on Native Children Act to extend the deadline for a report by the Alice Spotted Bear and Walter Soboleff Commission on Native Children and for other purposes.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill? Members will record their votes by electronic device.
If you appreciate this coverage, guys, don't forget, click subscribe if you haven't. Would love to have you in the next live stream, which will be tomorrow. All right, so here they go. On notion to suspend the rules and pass the bill. Just straight in. They just go straight to it. You know, this is kind of funny because the House hearing, there was this whole discussion, this whole back and forth. Are they just going straight to a vote? All right. Well, let's see what happens. This could be a monumental moment in cryptocurrency history. Now, like I said, I'd be surprised if they pass it as is. We already know what Nancy Pelosi's stance was. All right, there's one vote yes already. We know what Nancy Pelosi said. She's the Speaker of the House, which is like the highest ranking official in this group here. And she already said that she didn't want to pass this bill as is. Let's keep an eye on Bitcoin price too while they're not talking. I think this is important. See if it's fluctuating at all. Not at the moment. Okay. But she didn't plan to let it go as is because she wanted the budget spend to also be included and passed at the same time. And she wanted to make sure that the Senate fulfilled that wish. So it was kind of leveraged to say, well, we're not going to pass this one unless you give us the other one. All right, but we've got 2 votes yes. There's a lot of votes to roll through here. Looks like there is a time limit, though, so we should...
purpose does the gentleman from Missouri rise?
As the member designated by Mr. Luetkemeyer, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Luetkemeyer will vote yea. As the member designated by Mr. Graves, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Graves will vote yea. As the member designated by Mrs. Wagner, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mrs. Wagner will vote yea.
All right, well, that was like multiple votes. How low can it go if the bill passes? The floor is the limit, to be honest. It all depends on how the whales, the big money that's actually in Bitcoin, how bad they take it. Like I said, I feel like it's hard to be 100% bearish because you have to know that it was probably a miswording, and some of the House representatives are aware of that. And, you know, eventually, even if they pass it as is, there's going to be an amendment, you would think. They would at least go to court. There'll be some very unhappy people. But the floor's the limit if they're destroying crypto in the United States, which is kind of one of the main places it exists. We saw what happened with crypto after, the whole crash that we just experienced was 75 to 80, I'll say 90% Elon Musk. And then we got like the final nail in the coffin from China banning cryptocurrency there and making things even more restrictive. So you can imagine what's going to happen if that happens in the United States, where a lot of the mining actually happens, where a lot of the mining profitability comes from. People are going to have to figure out a way to relocate their mining things to another country if they're large, and if they're not, if they're like you and I, and they're not, they just have a PC that's running, you're not going to send that overseas. Probably you're just going to not mine. So it's just going to really kill the game for sure. And my main concern is that a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, they have value for other things that they do. Ethereum provides cryptocurrency network services to that allows other programs to function. You can trade decentralized options. You can use a decentralized crypto exchange. You can do all kinds of things on DeFi apps that run on top of Ethereum. So that's where Ethereum's value lies. Cardano, same thing. Dogecoin, it's a retail payment coin. Not so much focused on the mining, but Bitcoin, I feel like everything around Bitcoin is centered on the mining profitability and the way that the mining is set up. It's kind of like if the United States, or let's just say the world, said it was now illegal to mine gold. That really messes things up a bit. Maybe that's a bad illustration. That's a bad illustration because gold's value is, it's in how hard it is to mine, but also it's a product. But with Bitcoin, a lot of the value comes to the miners, and the difficulty of the mining is what increases the value of it as well. So if you can't have the miners making money off the mining, unlike gold where you could still be holding like a physical asset, and now there's just a limited amount of it in circulation. If the miners can't mine, like no one's making money off of mining anymore. So it creates a weird problem where miners can't make money mining, but then you've still got Bitcoin in circulation.
From Massachusetts,
As the member designated by
So what
Mr.
happens to
Welsh
the
of
price?
Vermont, pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Mr. Welsh will vote yes on S.
A lot of yes votes so far, but it just
As the
started.
member designated by Mr. Moulton of Massachusetts, pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Mr. Moulton will vote yes on S. 325.
Thank you, Scott, F, for that. Yes, correct. Yay is yes, nay is no. Vote Native Children Act. I'm not in INVU. It seems like a very bad idea to be in right now. And I made this very clear over the last week, and the thing is, whether I end up being right or wrong, trading is not about being right or wrong. It's about thinking of what the best plan could possibly be if you want to properly trade something, what makes the most sense, and executing your plan. ADA was running up a couple days ago and yesterday. To me, it just seemed like a bad time to enter. Not only was the price too high, but I didn't know what Bitcoin was going to do short term. It was very unpredictable. It was at all-time highs, and we knew that today was supposed to be not so great of a day. And so it just seemed like I'd be FOMO buying in. So had no interest in placing an entry, despite the fact that if I did, I would be up like 20%. That's not the point. There is always going to be opportunities to make profit. Every day, pretty much, especially in the crypto market with everything being so volatile. All you have to do is come back tomorrow and search, and you will find a way to make money. But what makes a good trader different from a beginner trader or a noob trader or whatever you want to call them, a bad one, is not chasing every opportunity and just sticking to the plan and exercising self-discipline. So that was my plan. That was my self-discipline, that no matter what I saw in these last couple days, unless it was completely obvious that the original thought process was wrong, that I would not be going long until after this event happened and I got some kind of confirmation. Along with that, usually if you're thinking something, there's a lot of other people that are thinking it too. There's billions of people on this planet, and we are just one, right? So safe to assume if I feel that way, a couple of you guys feel that way, there's probably thousands of other people, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, I don't know, that are thinking the same thing. So I would think that if this bill does not pass today and they vote nay, or if they discuss an amendment and it seems like that's the factor, that we will then see more confident people that have been sitting on the sidelines go ahead and place their buys, and we could see a bull run continuation from Bitcoin. Bitcoin does have further room to go. We see all votes yay so far. How is Bitcoin doing here? All right, Bitcoin has completely stalled out, which is kind of to be expected. During these events, usually you see the price trade neutral. Volume cuts out as people are waiting in anticipation and waiting for an answer. This is exactly what happened during the Senate event. Price just traded sideways, and they were waiting for a response. So I think we'll be hovering here until things actually look bad. If things look bad, we'll see a dump. If things look good, we'll see a rally. Now, if we're talking about what a rally would entail, let's just take a look at the highs here so you can see right here, kind of the previous high range. You see all this trading activity where the rejection wicks were support, rejection wicks here. It's about 52,000. Let's just say conservatively 52 at the max. That's a very likely stopping point short term. After that, we've got
recognition.
About
As the
55.
member designated by Ms. Haley of the 11th District of Michigan, pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Ms. Stevens will vote aye on S325.
Wait, this is on S325.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Stefanik of New York, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Stefanik will vote yay on Resolution 325.
What's Res 325? I know HR 5 is the infrastructure bill, so I want to know I want to make sure that we're not getting like thrown around and misled. So, let's see. Let's make sure we're on the same page.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Oregon seek recognition?
As the member designated by Mr. Blumenauer from Oregon pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Mr. Blumenauer will vote yes on S325.
S325. By the way, guys, I am not into this kind of stuff usually, so feel free to help me out if you've got some more info. If you see me confused and you've got an answer, feel free to type it.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Maryland seek recognition?
This particular
Madam Speaker, I
portion
rise
of the
as the member
vote is
designated
for
by
the
Mr. Gomez
infrastructure.
pursuant to House Resolution 8 to inform the House that Mr. Gomez votes aye on S325. As the member designated by Ms. Berrigan pursuant to House Resolution 8, I rise
Native
to inform
Children
the House
Act?
that Ms.
Okay,
Berrigan
okay,
votes
cool,
aye
cool.
on S325. As the member designated by Ms. Jayapal pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Jayapal votes aye on S325. And as the member designated by Mr. Pocan pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Pocan votes aye on S325.
Is I just another way of saying yes?
For what purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Ms.
Okay,
Harshbarger
cool.
of
Thank you,
Tennessee
guys. Appreciate it.
pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Ms. Harshbarger will vote yes on S325.
Apparently, our Mariano is into politics. No, I'm not.
For what purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
Thanks for the help, guys.
As a member designated by Ms. Davids of Kansas.
So this portion shouldn't
pursuant to
matter,
HRes
and that's
8,
probably also
I
why we're
inform
getting all
the
these
House
votes yes
that
and
Ms.
Bitcoin's not
Davids
moving because
will vote
it has
yay
nothing to do with
on
it. So
S325.
cool.
What purpose does the gentleman from Idaho seek recognition?
Well, Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Herrera Butler from the state of Washington pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Herrera Butler will vote aye on S325.
So we'll see how long this
takes. What purpose
takes.
does the gentleman from Colorado seek recognition?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. Greg Meeks of New York, pursuant to HRes 8, I inform the House that Mr. Meeks will vote yes on S325.
Oh, you're getting a Shiba Inu, John? That's awesome. You guys are asking, when does the panic start? At what price?
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
Madam Speaker,
I don't think anybody's really tuned in for this
designated
part, so I'll just turn it down a little bit.
Mr. Young of Alaska, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Young will vote yay on S325. And the member designated by Mr. Katko of New York, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Katko will vote yay, aye, on S325. Thank you.
All right. So what price point does the panic start on Bitcoin if it's to sell off? It's not really going to be a price point where panic kicks in. It's going to be everybody's going to panic and it's going to continue selling off. Obviously, people will get more concerned once we go under 49,000 again, because then that will have been the second time since yesterday. Because once we first hit 50, we did pull back all the way down to 48 flat. Then we made another push at 50. If we see another pullback, that could really set us up for like a head and shoulders or just a downtrend. Especially if we make a lower low, people aren't going to like that. And that sets you up for one of these motions. So panic under 49, really under 48. If we start getting to 47s, people are going to start flipping bearish a bit. Actual panic might set in under 45. Definitely by the time we're down to 42, under 42.5 again, people aren't going to be feeling so good. But that's a long ways down. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we'll see.
I inform the House that Congressmember Cardenas will vote yes on S325.
This obviously will probably take a couple minutes, guys, to get to what we want to hear. And thank you, Invo. Appreciate that compliment. Yeah, I hope today's a good day too, Adrian. Though, I mean, just Okay, there's one vote nay to whatever they just talked about. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a pullback either to buy a dip, but either way, I don't care. There's money to be made. Volatility is what I want. But I know how you feel. If you're in, probably want it to go up for sure. What's going on, Zachary? Welcome back to the stream, man. And again, thanks for joining the super member and becoming a member of the channel, helping support. Hope you're enjoying the Discord group so far. 1800 stock. Yeah, they may have mini X to vote on. So like I said, we don't know, they don't have a very firm schedule for this.
Thank you, Madam
So
Speaker. As the member designated by Mr.
kinda have to
Amadei,
sit
pursuant
through
to
it.
House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Amadei will vote yes on S325. Thank you.
this makes me think of have you guys seen, and maybe some of you are old enough to actually have been a real part of it, but have you guys seen the movies where they're doing the actual stock market?
Madam Speaker, as
in
the
New
member
York,
designated by Mr. McHenry of North Carolina,
stock trading
pursuant to House Resolution
brokers.
8, I inform the House
what this
that
reminds
Mr.
me of.
McHenry will vote aye on S325.
S325 apparently is a Native Children's Act. So yeah, this is a different bill.
The gentleman from Oklahoma.
We're looking for the HR bill.
The member designated by Ms. Granger of Texas pursuant to HRES 8.
The infrastructure bill is HR. I think Chaz just said
vote yay
it. HR
on
3684.
325.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Illinois seek recognition?
As the member
Also known as
designated by
HR4.
Mr. Rush, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Rush will vote yes on S325.
Meanwhile, if you got any questions, feel free to hit me with those, because like I said, this looks like it's going to take a minute. It says time remaining is 0 minutes. How does that work? Thank you all for the likes. Appreciate that. We're at 23. Thanks. Appreciate that support. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, we do actual live streams where we're talking about stocks, crypto primarily each day. So click that button if you haven't. Yeah, HR 3684. Yep.
For what
$30
purpose
Ada.
does the gentleman from
Man, I can't
California
wait.
seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Calvert of California pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Calvert will vote yes on S325. And as the member designated by Mr. Nunez of California pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Nunez will vote yes on S325.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New Hampshire
Time doesn't mean
As
anything.
the member
Okay.
designated by Ms. Pingree, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Pingree will vote
One day I'll be
yes
there. I
on
don't know about that.
S325.
I hardly participate, but watch and look for.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Alabama
Sorry, Chaz.
seek recognition?
Chaz Mandu.
As the member designated by Mr.
I was
Moore of
technically
Alabama,
alive.
Pursuant to House Resolution
I was just too
8,
young to know
I
what was
inform
going
the House that Mr. Moore will vote yes on the motion to suspend the rules.
Oh,
and
don't watch the
pass
clock 'cause it means nothing.
Senate
Gotcha.
325.
Why even time it?
For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Ms. Roy Ballard pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the
Marcelo
House that
says,
Ms.
will
Roy
the
Ballard will vote
3684
yes
be voted
on
next?
S325.
I would hope so, because I really don't want to watch all of this, because it doesn't really mean anything to me. But yeah, I'm with you, Zachary. Hardly participate, but watch and look for information. Yeah, that's the same thing here.
As the
I'm just looking for the info that pertains to me
designated
today.
by Mr. Fleischman
Crypto
from the
info.
great state of Tennessee, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Fleischman will vote yes on Senate Bill 325.
All right.
For what purpose
How many
does the
votes are
gentleman from
left?
Washington State seek
Oh,
recognition?
can it show that a little bit longer?
Madam Chair, as the member designated by Representative Strickland of Washington pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Representative Strickland will vote yes on S325.
How are they stumbling over that so much? It looks like they've got it written down.
Thank you.
Every single one of them. Looks like this is definitely a vote yes overall. It's got 5 no's and like 200 yeses. No votes. All right, so they're still, it's about halfway done. So while they're rolling through this, guys, let's pull up the actual charts. because that's probably going to be another 10 minutes. We'll bounce back and forth until they start talking about the HR 3684 bill, the crypto regulation bill. ADA has been on an absolute rocket trajectory over these last couple days, and it's very exciting. Oh, okay. Thanks, Scott F. See how clueless I am. I know some things, but not those things. Here's one thing to make note of, guys. We are seeing a potential reversal pattern here on Bitcoin. So what could end up happening? Well, usually you see a two-legged fall, but we saw the steep drop. Now we're starting to see a bit of a bowl-like recovery. And usually right around this point, it would start to take off, and especially take off once you've made a new high. So right around
as a member
getting back to 50,
by Mr. Garbarino of New York,
and
pursuant
then
to
we
House
could see
Resolution
it
8,
propel
I
up
inform
again.
the House that Mr. Garbarino will vote yay on the passage of S325.
And that's already setting up. So what could
the
happen is
gentleman
if they
from
don't pass the
California
infrastructure
seek
bill, this could just play
Madam
out.
Speaker,
It's already
as a
set up.
member designated by Mr.
So that is a
Desaulnier,
possibility.
Pursuant to H-Res 8, I
If they
inform
do,
the
this
House
will
that
probably
Mr.
just
Desaulnier will vote
stall.
yes on S325.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition.
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Ms. McMorris Rogers pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform
Let's
the
look at
House
Cardano.
that Ms. Rogers will vote yay on S325.
Still pushing for the $3 mark, which is crazy. Hopefully you guys bought in like last week when I told you guys ADA was a play. It was at $2, so you would be up substantially. What is that, about 50%?
I inform the House that Mr. Swazi will vote aye on S.
I'm just going to turn that down for now. You would be 50% up on your investment. It's still playing in the background for me. So ADA is on an absolute rocket. It wants $3. I mean, yeah, it wants $3 and it wants to break it. The thing is, in my opinion, ADA and Bitcoin are both at their price targets right now. They're like next resistance, their key level of resistance price target. A lot of people were probably thinking just last week, man, if only ADA would get to $3, ADA to 3, ADA to 3. We're at that next whole number. That's a strong level. You can see it's already bounced off of 3 quite a few times. And this is the 4-hour summary. If you go down to like the 1 minute, you could probably see lots of touches here. Here was close. Here, this was pretty close too. That was 30. That was 94. So on and so forth, right? So very strong level. It's at that resistance level now. Bitcoin is also at its strong level of resistance because Bitcoin is sitting near 50. So we've got Cardano at 3 almost, and then we've got Bitcoin almost at 50. We are at the tops. This is prime territory to see a perfect textbook rejection all the way down to a deep pullback. Or it could be prime territory to make a breakout run. So this is perfect for either direction. But, either one would make sense, and either one, it would be kind of a violent move, in my opinion, in either direction, either a big move down or a big move up. That's why I'm excited, because that just means volatility. Okay, here's a bit of an agenda. All right. No, it's not. It's they're still rolling. Thank you for that explanation, Scott. What's going on, y'all? Just got off work. I've been concerned about this all day. So they are voting on a couple bills. They're starting with one that's unrelated. That's where we are right now. Looks like they're about 2/3 of the way through the vote. And then we'll have to see which one they vote on next. I'm trying to find the schedule that says what they're actually going to be voting on. Okay, no. So HR 4 is a different one. So HR 3684 is the one that we're waiting on. Yeah, I'm on schedules. But this was okay. No, this is good. Let's hope they go straight to HR 3684. I'll crank it back up.
H.R. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Stewart will vote yes on S. 325. Thank you.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Illinois seek recognition?
We'll have to see how this plays out. We are holding pretty nice. You can see Bitcoin is ready to rumble, but it is in a pretty conservative spot now, right above 49,000, right below 50. Still pretty bullish here because we bounced off 49 and didn't continue to dump.
Designated by Mr. Grijalva, pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. Grijalva will vote yes on S325, and as the member designated by Ms. Kirkpatrick.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully they get that
pursuant to HRS 8,
majority. I'm done with this one already.
Mr. Kirkpatrick will vote yes on S325.
Let me know if you have any questions, guys, while we're watching stuff that doesn't quite pertain to us yet. We do have some time. Like I said, after that, once we get to the infrastructure bill portion, I probably won't be doing much talking. So if you have questions, shoot them over. Kind of the same of online poker, then they had to move it overseas. What to look for as far as a sell or hold. Just waiting for that announcement. If Bitcoin starts to, I'm not in, by the way, guys. To anybody that just popped in, I have no position right now. I've already made that clear. I am not holding anything, nor am I short. I don't want to be short right now if we get good news. I don't want to be holding if we get bad news. I expect volatility in either direction, and in my opinion, I just don't want to be greedy and 50-50.
Madam Speaker,
50-50 it. So.
As a member designated by Mr. Nails of Texas and pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Nails will vote yay on S325.
For what purpose
looks like this one's
does the
definitely
gentlewoman
passing.
from Minnesota seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Presley, pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Presley
She's nervous.
will vote yes on S325. As the member designated by Mr. Bowman, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bowman will vote yes on S325.
For what purpose does the gentleman
do
from
they not have it written
Oklahoma
down?
seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as
do.
the member designated by
stay on the
Mr. Mullen
sidelines
of
now and
Oklahoma,
wait.
pursuant to H.R. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Mullen will vote yay.
So Rafi asked and Austin asked what to look for as a sell or hold, and he then asked stay on the sidelines now and wait. So that's what I'm doing. I'm on the sidelines now and waiting. I don't see any reason to have a position. I don't see any reason to be, and that means long or short, because if you don't know which way they're going to vote, then you don't know which way that the volatility spike is going to go. So if you take a position right now, you're kind of coin flipping it. Now I will say, well, can I even really say that there's a higher chance that they vote no? There is probably a higher chance that they vote no, because I think they've kind of been made aware that the crypto regulations are a bit ridiculous as currently worded, and so they might take it upon themselves to take that extra step to say we need to amend this first before it goes through. We also know that Nancy Pelosi made it clear that she wanted her bill, that other bill, the budget spend, to also be considered at the same time, though she did put a bit of a deadline on that being October 1st. One, there's still time till October 1st, still a month and a week, and two, that bill is not coming today, as far as I'm concerned. So she could, and other people could vote no for that infrastructure bill and say, well, you already knew what the deal was, we're not budging. I think a lot of people and maybe bigger money is banking on that. And so that's why they already took their long positions and went ahead and bought low, kind of having done that research and just saying the odds are in my favor, so I'm just going to take a chance. But having not been in from a price that low, and so what I'm not telling you guys is to sell now if you're already in from a lower price, or to buy now if you're not in, or whatever, or to buy more, or to do any of that. Basically, if you've bought in at a lower price, probably just hold and wait, right? There's no reason to do anything because we don't know what's going to happen next. If anything, I think there's probably a higher chance that we can make a continuation up. And so I would be hopefully expecting us to get good news, a rejection of the bill, and then a bull run continuation. Bitcoin to 55, Dogecoin to 35, Dogecoin to 40, ADA to 350, so on and so forth. But if they say no, then that means Bitcoin tanks as far as the whales see fit, as they all decide to either sell and go short, or just go short if they weren't even in. So it will probably be a bit of a strong sell-off. So I'm just being very conservative, not having a position right now, playing it safe. Like I said, nothing's really happening to the prices, so there's no reason for me to feel a need to do anything. I'm not missing anything. I'm just being smart. I got tagged here a lot of. Thank you guys for helping me out. Appreciate that. You can see Bitcoin is still trading pretty much completely sideways, hovering mid 49,000. Very neutral spot, but it is up towards the top side of that at 49.6. That kind of makes sense. I think everybody's expecting positive things. If anything, we'll see. Let me just refresh. I think Scott has said I'm behind.
Michigan seek recognition.
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Adderholt of Alabama pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Adderholt will vote yes on S325.
For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Right, exactly.
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Ms. Sanchez pursuant to House
no
Resolution
problem,
8, I inform the House that Ms. Sanchez votes yes on S325.
And yeah, that's exactly right. Leverage and just all kinds of stuff. And now we're in the, exactly like Scott I've just said, I'll give you this.
For what purpose does the
if you give me
gentleman from
this.
Utah seek recognition?
As member
Leverage.
designated by Representative Peter Meyer, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Meyer will vote yea on S325.
What purpose does the gentlewoman from Delaware seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Gett of Colorado pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Gett will vote yes on S325.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Utah seek recognition?
As the member designated by Representative John Curtis, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Curtis will vote yea on S325.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Illinois seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Newman of Illinois, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Newman will vote yes on S325.
What purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as the member
I
designated
don't
by
like what
Mr.
Mr. Sings
Hagedorn
is
of
doing. They
Minnesota
need to
pursuant to
relax.
8 Reg 8, I inform the House that Mr. Hagedorn will vote yea on S325. Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Thompson of Pennsylvania pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Thompson will vote yea on S325. Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Reschenthaler of Pennsylvania pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Reschenthaler will vote yea on S325.
All right. Whoops, slapped my mic. Did I see the thing about gambling? No. Do I see a Bitcoin correction in September despite today's voting? It just depends on what the vote is. Even if it's a negative vote, I still think Bitcoin will correct. I don't know if September's fast enough, but Bitcoin will probably bottom out at a really low price and then start bouncing back up as people start figuring out relocation. And there's a lot of positive news for Bitcoin. That's the thing. But this announcement, if it's bad, could really get people nervous and fear. Don't forget, crypto or trading, it's two things. It is like excitement, hype, or it's fear. That's what makes the bill. I mean, that's what makes prices go up, or that's what makes people sell. And fear is the direct thing directly tied to selling. So if people get
As a member
fearful,
designated by Mr.
you can
Garamendi
see
of
a crash.
California
It's
to
just
pursuant
that's
to House Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Garamendi will vote
yeah,
yes
it's definitely
on
passed already. I wish they would move on.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Ms. Salazar of the state of Florida pursuant
Is
to
there a dip?
H-Res 8, I inform the House
not
that
really.
Ms. Salazar will vote yay
Check
on
Doge.
S325. As the
Doge
member
is fine.
designated by Mr. Stubbe of the state of Florida pursuant to H-Res 8, I
I'll
inform
answer
the
your
House
question.
that Mr. Stubbe will vote yay on S325.
It's already passed. This is unnecessary now. I'll answer your question, Rafi. He asked, so do I see Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Doge making a bigger price increase, and why? Trying to load my bullets accordingly for if the bill passes or not. Doge, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, they all do different things. They provide different value. They function in different ways. So the answer to that question is different for each one. Dogecoin's value has nothing to do with the miners. I don't think the miners care. And if they are mining Dogecoin, it's probably just for fun. Plus, Dogecoin's going to be most likely bridged over to Ethereum. And Ethereum's going to be, when that bridge takes place, it's going to be probably Ethereum 2.0, which is going to be proof of stake. There won't be any miners. So that was a lengthy chain response to the answer, I guess, but I'm much less concerned about a Dogecoin price drop than I would be about a Bitcoin price drop because the miners are the least important factor in Dogecoin. No one cares about the miners or the money you make mining. It's usually just for fun and to help. With Ethereum, it's a little bit of a different story. Current day Ethereum's usually the most profitable to mine, but potential next couple month or next year Ethereum, with Ethereum 2.0, it's all going to be proof of stake. So you're going to have validators, not actual miners. So the mining portion, again, nobody will care about, but currently it's going to be a really big deal. Profitability will go down the drain. And that's going to be a problem. Now, the other thing is I did hear that they included validators, anyone validating transactions, whether you're a miner or a staker, you would be a validator. I'm pretty sure that was in the verbiage. So proof of stake might not even be a game changer or a saver, rather, for if the bill screws over people that are authorizing transactions. Whether or not you're doing proof of work or stake, if you're a validator, you might have a problem. But I think that Dogecoin is going to be the least affected of the three and will probably come out the best. I think Ethereum will do second best, only because of the value it provides underlying, and then the ETH2 hopes and maybe the validator verbiage will help. But then for Bitcoin, I see Bitcoin doing the absolute worst because most of Bitcoin's whole value comes from the mining process. The whole mining thing is what really, being able to mine Bitcoin, the difficulty of mining, how it's set up to where, every once in a while there's a halving event and then there's less Bitcoin being paid out to the miners. And then the more miners you have, the more difficult it is to mine. And so it's just this whole scheme that's set up to make the Bitcoin valuable. It's all driven from the mining process. If you're getting rid of mining in the United States, no one can participate in that mining process. And it kind of just makes the whole thing just a whole bunch of like air and smoke. Just kind of takes it out of existence here in the United States. So then all you have is the other countries doing the mining and us holding on to the value of a Bitcoin, but just a lot of the value has come from the mining process. And so if you're cutting a whole country out of that, it's just a problem. So that thought process is why I'm thinking Doge will do best, even though it'll probably still crash if Bitcoin's crashing. Ethereum second, and Bitcoin will probably take the biggest hit. But we'll see.
As
What?
the member designated by Mr. Baya
Bitcoin's still doing nothing.
Pursuant to HRES 8,
Virginia.
I inform the House that Mr. Baya will vote yes on S325. And as the member designated
Are you tested positive
by
again
Ms.
in blue?
Titus
Oh, no.
of Nevada, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House Ms. Titus will vote yes on S325.
New here, when is the important vote
And as the
happening? Is it
member
after this one
designated
finishes or
by
not
Mr.
yet? I'm
Kind
actually not
of
sure. They don't have an
Wisconsin,
agenda.
pursuant to HRES 8,
All we know is it
I
should be
inform the
discussed
House
today,
Mr.
but they didn't give us a
Kind will
timeline.
vote yes
I would hope it's
on
next.
S325.
Because I really don't want to
And
watch all this.
finally, as the member designated by Mr. Trone of Maryland, I inform the House that Mr. Trone will vote yes on S325.
Voted yes. And thank you all for everybody that subscribed today. Really appreciate the support. Thank you.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from New York seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Doge of Florida pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Doge will vote yes on S325.
All right, there is only 25 votes left here, guys, so we are almost done.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. McEachin pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Mr. McEachin will vote yes on S325. And as the member designated by Ms. Porter pursuant to HRS 8, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yes on S325.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a member designated by Mr. David Scott of Georgia.
I'll remute
pursuant
temporarily.
to House
This is not, for those that just
Resolution
popped
8,
in, this
I
isn't
hereby
the crypto
inform the
bill
House
quite
that
yet.
Mr.
We're waiting
Scott
for
will
it.
vote
Hopefully we'll be
yes
next up.
on
There's only, they just did like 250 votes. I'm sorry, 400 votes. There's only 25 left. They're flying through it. We're almost there. Do I think, and no problem, Rafi, do I think Solana could pass ETH? ETH is a very hard one to pass. I think really the only one that can pass Ethereum right now is going to be Cardano. It's got the community behind it, which I think is extremely important, and it's getting the progression behind it. Solana, though, is kind of making a name for itself, but Cardano is really the one that I've got like on my watch.
Illinois, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Kelly will vote yes on S325 as the member designated by Chairwoman
Almost voted on the
Carolyn
wrong bill.
Maloney of New York. Pursuant to
You heard
HRES
that?
8, I inform the House that Ms. Maloney will vote yes on S325.
I wish they would update the scheme in these like I get it's the classic, right? But it makes me feel like I'm in the 20s. Modernize a bit. Hey, what's up, Josiah? We good or bad so far? Just tuned in. Nothing's happened quite yet. They are discussing the bill before the one we actually care about, so they're doing the votes on that. What we care about hopefully will come next. There's 3 different bills, according to what they said on the schedule, that will get considered. It didn't indicate an order, but there's 3 different bills. One of those is the one we care about, the infrastructure bill, but this is not the one. But they are almost done. As you can see, they've already gotten through 410 votes. I'm sorry, 417 votes. There's only 15 left. I would expect this to be done within the next 2 to 3 minutes, and will hopefully be up next. Yeah, this takes forever. I should have probably... I just didn't want to miss it. That's why I went live, but it has been an hour that we've been live. But they've only been doing this part for about a half an hour, so either way, this is about done, so that's good. Flashing colorful numbers. Why am I behind? Oh, it must just be the stream lagging a bit, guys. I'm sorry. On my screen, we're actually at 11 votes, so I'm not sure why I'm so far behind, but I apologize. My VPN's not on, so I don't know what's up. Maybe try refreshing my stream, Skydive. Maybe somehow it got behind on your PC. Because I'm actually ahead of where you had indicated. Ah, sweet. Thanks, my dude. Shirts got here today. So excited, but out of town for 2 more days. Ah, man, I was going to ask you about those. Hope you like them. Hope you like them. They were pretty cool. I almost didn't... I wanted more. Like, I didn't want to ship them. They looked good on that stand that I had back in the background, and people were asking about them. I'm like, oh, it was you? Okay, cool. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to troubleshoot this one because I don't see anything wrong. So let's hope it's not a me thing. What's going on, Crypto Tank Girl? Oh, is that a sub? It's Crypto Tank Girl. Hey, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Nice emojis there. They're from Hodl. They'll be perfect. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you want to check out the Dogecoin apparel that I make and that I've got to offer you, you can check out the link in the description at the very top. It's my store. Thanks again to Crypto Tank Girl, and I know we got some other subs that didn't pop up because their accounts are more private in the settings. So thank you to all of you for subscribing today. I know we've got a lot of people, all 60 of you here.